Mr. Codling.
Hello.
Welcome along to CC Interiors. I'm really glad I can make this presentation to you today. I've been delighted to work on your project for your beautiful home. Stating a few obvious points for you, but puts it all into context. Your home is a beautiful 3-storey Victorian-inspired townhouse that surrounds with a limited number of other homes, beautiful garden square, and that's one of the sort of salient points of your property for you, and you love that. So thank you for letting me help with the designing of the project. So initially I wanted to talk about the room plan. So there are a couple of notable points with your room that actually add to the classical nature and feeling of your beautiful home. So one of them being the ceiling height is above average. It's nearly 3 metres, so 2,800 millimetres. We use millimetres in scale. So that offers a lovely generous feeling to your living room. You've got the north wall, this aspect here, is flooded with natural light because you've got these beautiful 3 sash windows at the front, and they're extremely tall sash windows as well. So they're 2.5 metres to the top of the window to the floor, so really beautiful. So wanted to mention those, and if I just hop back 1 minute, the room is generally used by yourself and your family for entertaining and just relaxing when you come home from a hard day at work and your children come home from a hard day studying. So relaxing, watching TV, reading, listening to music. So the inspiration that we've come to for your room, a lot of it centred around the beautiful colours that surround your home. So there's a lot of green that you like. It's a very restful colour as well, and we wanted to incorporate some of that outside on the inside. So we've chosen a lot of these beautiful green tones, keeping it quite minimal to make it feel contemporary rather than terribly classical, and highlighting possibly with some beautiful whites in the scheme as well, some off-whites. Obviously, as a note to the sociable nature that you have here, and a nod to the farming background that encompasses your work, and of course the local area of Suffolk is full of agricultural land. So, some of the products on your sample board for your beautiful room. I'm going to talk about the colour first. So I think because the colour is one of the prominent things in the room, prominent details in the room, we've settled on Invisible Green by Little Green Paint Company. It's a beautiful paint. It's quite flat in nature. And one of the things that we loved about that, apart from it adds a lot of drama to the room, and it's quite classic and adds drama, it's very good with a northerly light, because the northerly light that's coming into your room is pretty constant. It's like a diffused light because it doesn't get those highs and lows of a south-facing room. It's diffused throughout the day, and actually it can be construed as quite cool light, but with this dark green it actually warms it up quite a lot, because this has got quite a lot of orange and yellow in the base colour of it, so it's a very warm colour. And when we mix that, so this is going on all walls.
All walls, yeah?
All walls.
Okay.
And when we mix that with this equally beautiful slate lime, it's called, it's going to be a really sharp contrast. This is going on the woodwork in the room.
Okay. And it's a matte finish.
Well, it will be an eggshell finish on your woodwork, and the walls will be matte, but this just gives you a nice idea of the actual colour, because these are painted in the actual colours, so lovely contrast there.
Yep.
Then we're moving on to the flooring. So when we spoke initially, one of your real desires for the room was to have a beautiful oak parquet floor, but one of your concerns equally was the sound transfer from placing a floor like that on a first floor, in a first floor room. So what we've settled on is the oak parquet. Now it's an engineered oak, so what that means is it's got a lot of slices of ply on the base of it. It's engineered, it's put together, it's formed together. So that has a softening sound for any tread above that. And then it's got a deep layer of solid oak on top. So you get all the benefits of having a warm, beautiful oak floor, but with the added advantage that there will be very, very little movement.
It's very stable.
It's very stable as a product. And then we're coupling that with an acoustic membrane, which is going to go underneath the beautiful parquet floor. And the acoustic membrane is very, very fine, and it will just sit under that, literally on top of the existing chipboard floor that you have up there, underneath the carpet. So both of those things will really contribute to a lessening of sound transfer. Then I would like to talk about the curtains. So again, when we started discussing the project, we had mentioned plantation shutters. Really, with the wood of the plantation shutters and the wood of the floor, although this has a beautiful warmth in colour, it was felt it might be a bit too clinical to have the wooden shutters as well. And actually, the wooden shutters would really restrict. Half of the benefit of them is that they block out a lot of what's going on outside, but still let some of the light in, depending on the angle. You don't want to block off outside because you love looking out of the windows onto the garden square. So we decided against those, and instead have gone for a natural linen with the addition of a man-made fibre for durability on the curtains. And not curtains, they're going to be Roman blinds. So a Roman blind will be sat outside your recess. So with your recess like this, it sits outside your recess, and it's going to be in a standard stack formation. So it won't cascade down like a waterfall Roman blind, but it will sit very neatly behind each other and still allow the maximum view out of your window.
And the maximum lighting as well.
Maximum light into your window, absolutely. This should just give you an idea of how it all sits together. So it's not to scale or anything, but you can see how these beautiful leather and velvet sofas and chairs contrast each other, but they still have a sense of sort of opulent luxury. And again, against the beautiful green wall, there's a symmetry in the lighting in the room as well, and I think that lends a sort of classical tone. And then we've got these modern hints to the room too. Also bringing in the addition of plants as a final sort of accessory to the room will soften the scheme, and again bring that outside in, which I know is something you're really, really keen on. So I hope you like the scheme. I've been really delighted to work on it, and I really want for you to have a sitting room that both you and your family feel you really look forward to coming home to after a hard day's work.
Nice,
and I hope this goes some way to produce that for you. So, don't know if you have any questions, Mr. Codling.
I like this, but I'm concerned about it's in the winter. You don't necessarily want the light in there. So what will we do about the light coming through these blinds, because they could look a little sheer, I guess.
So, but you like the fabric?
I like fabric, but...
So because of the nature of the linen, it's not a problem. What we would do is interline and blackout line these Roman blinds. So the nature of fabric now has come such a long way, and blackout lining, you wouldn't know the difference between blackout lining and regular lining. So visually during the day it will have the same look, but it has those additional thermal properties. And I think rather than blackout lining, although that's the term it used to be, it negates a large percentage of the light that's coming into the room. So obviously still around the edges you may get a slight ingress, but the majority of that light will be kept well out with
brilliant, thank you.
the addition of that.
Yeah.
So, any other questions at all?
The flooring.
Yeah.
I can't stand it when you see new flooring put in a room and it goes up to a skirting board and then you get this stupid little bead around the edging. So what can we do about that with this flooring?
I'm in complete agreement with you, Mr. Codling. It doesn't look very quality
It's not very
flooring
well
product.
finished, is it?
No, absolutely. So what we can do very easily with this, and that was what we were planning to do, was take up your existing carpet, leave the chipboard that's there, remove your current skirting boards from around the wall, lay the soundproof membrane, the sound resistant membrane, then this goes on top. Once this is fitted with the membrane underneath, you then refit your skirting boards,
Okay.
depending on the condition when they're removed. So
Okay.
we refit above these so there is none of that
Yeah.
gap at the edge.
Okay. No, I'm happy. Thank you.
Any other questions? I hope
No.
you like it.
I do. That's fine. Thank you.
That's marvellous, thank you.